Come and listen on
Don't be afraid to catch
Relax Radio.
Welcome back to Relax Radio. That's right. This is RELAKS with me, Nick, and guess who we got on board today?
Hiya.
Hey, what's happening, Laura? How you been? How's the weekend?
Oh, the weekend was fun.
Oh, you look like you had some fun. I saw your photos. I saw a bunch of the photos that you posted up.
Mixed reactions. It was fun. It was because I remember I had the vaccine. I said I was going to tell you how it went. So I had the vaccine on, was it Saturday? Yeah, on Saturday.
Not quite sure. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, and it kind of knocked me out.
Oh.
Yeah, I felt terrible. So in the middle of the night, like this morning, I woke up with this mad headache. I tried calling 111, no response. I thought I was gonna die.
Oh, it was that
serious?
serious?
It was actually.
Oh.
It was really bad. And I have a cold. I don't know if it's a symptom from it. I really don't know. Or side effects rather, not symptom. I don't know if it's a side effect from the vaccine or whatever. But I've had it. I've had my 2 doses, so bling bling. We're done.
All right. You all pumping. You can go back on the streets again. I mean, after your cold subsides, obviously.
Yeah.
But because I saw these photos that you posted on, and then you were in that barbecue, and I was like, oh, she had the vaccine and she had the barbecue. I mean, she went for that. All right. She did say that this is the big thing.
Lucky for me, it didn't strike on that day, the day of the barbecue. So it was like the vaccine just wanted me to enjoy first before it.
Oh, okay. It's like
punch.
I mean, it's just like, okay, we're just gonna show that you're safe and you're in a good space, and then boom, come out of nowhere. I mean, it's great. You got your vaccine though. You're pretty much well equipped. You can travel again. Yeah. Great thing.
I can. Yeah.
Yeah. Officially, you can travel anywhere. You can go to any place, and they're not gonna ask 200 questions from you because you have both of your. I think you have a card.
Yeah, I've got the card. The only thing I don't have is the passport thingy that they're saying. I don't know if they've done it, if it's a done deal, but they're working on it, making the vaccine passports.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it's pretty feasible at the moment. Although a lot of people are looking forward to it, I don't think it's going to be very feasible in the moment. When people start using it, I'm not quite sure how that thing is going to end up. But there's good news though. There has been a lot of good news as well, and it seems that the country is actually gonna come out of lockdown.
Yes, you see, I told you, Nick. I told you to be optimistic. I told you that this was gonna happen.
You manifested all of these things. Yeah, I mean,
it's a good thing you didn't jinx it.
I mean, I felt like you were gonna jinx it because you kept saying, "Okay, we're gonna come out," and I was like, "Okay, girl, just don't say it, just let it go."
I was being the positive vibe, and you were like, "Oh no, I don't know, I don't." I'm like, come on.
Well, with the way things were going out, I didn't really see. I mean, there's still time. Let's see how it goes. I definitely got my fingers crossed. I want everything to go back to normal. But the way the situation is going, right now they're saying Boris Johnson is talking about how he wants to lift restrictions on the UK. So a lot of these face masks, social distancing, we won't have to be doing this anymore by the time the 19th of July comes. What do you think about that? I mean, what's your take on that, though?
Well, first of all, it's definitely a welcome development. And everyone can pretty much slowly, not immediately, but we can slowly start getting our lives back. We can slowly start, interacting with people. And it's depressing for a lot of people surviving this period, since 2020, where the first lockdown happened. So I think we all should just count our blessings, and if and when this July 19 comes and the restrictions are lifted, then that's a good thing for us. We should also just embrace it. But the thing is, everyone should learn not to be too quick to go back out there and start partying again. Because it doesn't
sound like that can happen anytime soon right now. The way things are going, people are like, okay, everything's gonna go back to normal. We can go back to our old shenanigans. But
you'd be surprised because a lot of young people would be like, oh yeah, the clubs are open. Oh, let's troop in there. And and then we don't want
so young talk.
It's like we should just all just take it easy. The time for when everything's going to be a thing of the past is coming.
Yeah, I mean, he did confirm it a lot not recently. Also, he's been saying, okay, the 19th of July is going to be, we're going to lift a majority of the restrictions, and the remaining COVID restrictions in the country is what he was trying to say. And he says, how these face masks are going to be more voluntary. If you want to, you can wear them, but it's not really, mandatory anymore. And I
Yeah.
really don't know about that statement. I feel like, okay, fine, you can maybe get everything back to normal, but removing face masks altogether, I mean,
Trust
we're
me,
still not there.
I'm at the front line of taking off the face mask. I can't breathe in them. Seriously, they
I
make me
know.
feel too warm, and I always sweat
Yeah.
when especially with the nature of my job, I have to wear them for
Yeah.
now.
Of course.
But it's according to what I read, the medical director of NHS England, Professor Stephen Powis, said he might choose to continue to wear face covering. So what they're trying to say now that come July 19, who knows, it might be an optional thing.
Yeah.
It's
The
most
way
likely
things
not
are
going to
going. Yeah.
be, yeah, it's most likely not going to be compulsory. If you want to enter the buses, you have to wear a face mask. If you want to go into a shopping mall, you have to wear a face mask. Now it's
Yeah.
going to be a thing of if you still don't feel comfortable, or you're still learning, because right now it seems like our face mask has become our uniform.
Routine. Yeah. It's a
Yeah,
uniform.
it's like it's part
It's
of
like
your
how we put,
outfit.
lipstick and, you comb your hair, maybe put a little gel wax, whatever.
Exactly.
It's
Sometimes
become
you
that
step out
thing.
of the house. Sometimes you step out of the house and you're like, oh, where's my face mask? It's like we're already too used to it. So for people who haven't adjusted to not using the face mask, they can still, if you're not comfortable, that the next
Yeah.
person might sneeze and you might just catch something. You might
Yeah, so
still
you
want
have to be
to.
more cautious. Yeah, like for
Yeah.
those overly cautious or people who think that they still should be wearing face masks at the moment. I mean, nobody's gonna
Mhm.
stop you, but for me, I feel like I mean, yes, we can remove all the other restrictions like going, like how social distancing and all that. Okay, but then I feel like the face mask should kind of stay for just for the meantime. I'm not talking about how formalities. I'm talking
Yeah.
about like that sense of, oh, it's not completely back to normal. I mean, it's
Mhm.
more of an awareness that we think, okay, although we think it's back, everything is 100%, we should remember all the time that, okay, there's still a virus going on, at least to keep us on our toes.
Yeah. I get the whole face mask thing being, protecting us and stuff, but I've always said this. I get that when someone sneezes and you inhale and stuff, but they've always portrayed COVID-19 as a virus that you can contact through. I mean, you can get through contact, right?
Yeah,
Through
that's right.
bodily contact. So
That is
technically,
correct.
if someone who has COVID touches your arm, you can have it. They don't necessarily have to sneeze on
That is
you.
a little extreme, but yeah, when you think about it, I think it has
No,
to be
I'm
more
just
inhaled, right?
I mean, I get it has to do with your respiratory organs and
Yeah,
all of that. That's what it affects. But I'd like to believe that you can also get it through direct contact. So my point is, I'm just gonna be, or antagonist. That's how it's called.
okay,
So I'm just gonna be on the negative side here and say
all
that
right.
what is the guarantee that if I take my mask off, or if I keep wearing my face mask and I come into contact with someone who's got it, they don't need
Yeah,
to sneeze on me. They don't need to cough on me. Just
yeah.
touching me, maybe with their sweaty hands or whatever. How do I know I'm not going to get it? So what's the point of wearing the face mask if I'm still not protected?
Yeah, I can see where you're coming from. Yeah, what you're trying to say, the point that you're trying to prove. But yeah, I guess in that way also, I think for people who are not vaccinated, I think that's okay. You don't have to wear your face mask or something like that. I'm sorry. I mean, people who are vaccinated
Right.
should not wear the face mask. Yeah, what was
Yeah.
I going?
It's
What's
all
going on
right.
with
It's
you today?
okay.
But yes, what I'm trying to get at the point is, if you are vaccinated, yeah, you don't need to wear. I don't think, yeah, for those people, you're not
Yeah,
required to wear a face mask.
you might not require to
Yeah,
wear it.
but for the people who are not, though, I mean, yes, you might think, oh, it's gonna cause discrimination, but then it's like the government has said, this is just a choice. If you want to take the vaccine, you can take it. Right now, it's not mandatory. It's not 100% you're supposed to take it. I mean, because this is
Yeah.
like I said, this is a country. We have the freedom to do what we want to do. This is part of
Of
our
course,
policies
yeah.
and our legislation. So people can choose if they want to take it. So if those who don't want to take the vaccine,
Hmm.
well, at least they should be required to wear a face mask, I think.
Yeah. Well, I mean, while we're talking about restrictions in the UK, I know Wales they're not looking to take
Oh
off
yeah,
any other lockdown. They're
yeah.
they're just taking it slow and steady because
Yeah, they're
now
like
they're
a turtle.
saying,
They're taking it
yeah,
really slow.
I think they're just being careful. I think because right now they're just saying that they're not going to rule out any further lockdown, because the
Yeah,
country is in a very difficult situation, in quotes,
that is
because
true.
apparently their COVID ratings and numbers are increasing
They are.
gradually.
I mean,
Yeah.
compared
So
to the way Scotland is, they are actually. It's like, I like to look at it like from this point of view. It's like you said, on a first date, it's like they want to take it slow. When Wales is just taking it really slow. They're being playing overly cautious, trying to play it really
yeah.
safe. And then we got Scotland, who doesn't care. The first date is like, oh, it's okay. It's
Well,
like we've met each other 200 times. It's all right. It's all good.
well, then again, I mean, no one wants to wait too long, even on the
That is
first
all.
date. So you still want to plan your strategy and your
Yeah.
timing. It's all
I,
important.
I think, yeah, the way things are going right now, it looks like Wales, like I said, they're playing it too really really safe, and it looks like England is doing the best they can. But lifting everything completely also wouldn't be really wise at the moment. But
Hmm.
the way things are going, yeah, a lot of these industries as well, when it comes to tourism, when it comes to the planes and all of that, hotel industry, all those industries are right now a little disappointed with the number, how the things are going, because we've not rolled out a vaccine
Yeah.
passport as of yet. So they're saying, okay, once we get that sorted, we should be able to continue travel again. But then people are worried about discrimination. There's going to be that fact. Yeah. What? You gave a breath of like, exasperated.
I don't like any form of discrimination whatsoever. It's depressing, it's frustrating. So if people are concerned that this is going to cause discrimination of whatever sort, that is something you can't really control. You can
That is
only,
true.
teach people and warn them and say, oh, say, no to discrimination, or don't do this, don't do that. But in the end, people will do what they want to do,
That is right. I mean, because look,
so
what we have to understand is when these people go to work, this is the problem when they say discrimination. I think in the context, what they're trying to mention is like how people, when they go to work, an employer will make it mandatory for you to get a vaccine to, get into their employment. And that's the thing. That's the kind of thing that they are worried about. A
yeah,
lot of
yeah.
these employees, people who
Hmm.
potential employees rather, they're
Yeah,
worried
of
about
course.
cause some sort of discrimination, and they're worried about that, and they are bringing that into light. So they're looking into all of these things.
I mean, in that case, I don't think it should be a big deal, because in the end, a company wants to protect its staff
Yeah.
and clients. So if they're not 100%, I don't know, certain that this whole virus thing has died down, then by all means, why not? If they want to implement compulsory face masks at work, I don't think that should be a problem. To be honest, you're only at work for a few hours.
Yeah, that's
When
right.
you go out, do your private business, go shopping, go out with friends, go get a drink. You don't have to use it then. That's
Yeah,
fine. But the few hours you have to work and make money for yourself, I think you just cooperate and wear the
yeah,
face mask.
yeah. I mean, that's the truth right there. Most people, yeah, they want to find ways and excuses. I understand, like
Yeah.
companies that ask for a vaccination, it's to protect their liabilities, their assets as well, because they don't want to be held later, in a
Mm-hmm.
position where it's going to be very compromising for them. So, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. They get the choice to decide whether they hire you or not, but to make it compulsory for like mandatory for all sorts of work, that's what they are worried about. And there are a lot of these people who don't want to take the vaccine, well, that's what their concerns are. I'm trying to
The,
play
the truth
devil's
is,
advocate right here, and you're wondering
yeah,
what's this guy doing or not.
I'm just okay. If I had a company, right,
Yeah.
or when I have
Okay.
a company, because that's the
When you
dream.
have, that's the positivity right there. That's what we're
So,
talking about.
so when I do, or if I did have a company, and
Okay.
this kind of outbreak, I'm praying God no, not anymore. But if something like happened,
Okay.
and I wanted to protect my staff, I'd do the same thing. I'd say when you come into work, wear a face mask, whatever, compulsory. Because if anything happens and any of the staff that work for me get this virus, the company's going to have to shut down.
Yeah,
That's a
that's true.
fact. So you
That'll
have
affect
to,
your pocket.
yeah, you have to think about the future. You have to think about protecting them, because in the end, if the company shuts down, no one is at work. If no one is at work, no one gets paid. So
Yeah,
in the end, it's all for their best interest. So they can sulk
that
all
is
they
true.
want, But if you want to work, it's not, in this case, I don't see it as discrimination, but if you have to work, we're protecting you, whether you see it or not. Well, we are protecting you because we don't want this company to shut down. We want to keep working, and you love your job. You don't want to lose your job because if anything happens, you've lost your job. That's it.
That is the facts right there. And yeah, we'll definitely be talking about that and a whole lot more, as we go along in the show. But that, we're going to be taking a real quick break and taking a look at your time right now. It is 4:26. Good evening. Climb Mount Everest. That is one of that's in my bucket list. You're laughing, but that is the facts right there. I'd love to do that. That is something I'm looking forward to do, hopefully.
Climb Everest.
Mount Everest. I mean, okay, not the very tip of Mount Everest, maybe the base camp at least.
They're talking about mental health. Well, if you went out and got some exercise in the fresh air, that would improve your mental health. It will make you feel better.
That's true. That is true. I wholeheartedly agree. But then for some people, it's how do you find the motivation to, especially when it comes to riding a bicycle, to do it again and again and again and again? It's a cycle that you have to be used to. How do you do it? What makes you wake up in the morning and decide, hey, I'm going to pick my bike up today. I'm going to cycle. What makes you want to do that?
What makes me want to do that?
Yeah. What do you like? What could you give listeners, like people listening in right now? What kind of tip could you give them?
Well, the first tip I would give them, if you haven't tried it before, try it. It can open up new horizons. It will make you fitter. It will definitely make you fitter. Cycling is one of the best forms of aerobic exercise you can do.
It sounds like, if you think about it, it sounds like great fun. Because what essentially you're trying to say is also at the same time, when if you look at it from this perspective, with regards to mental health, especially when you look at it with mental health, this is another way to fight it. I feel like you go outside, you meet more people, you interact with, socially, you will interact with more people, and you're keeping fit, you're making connections, you're breathing in the good and exhaling the bad. I feel like that's a great thing right there.
Absolutely. Yeah, you got a better way with words than I have, I'll tell you. But you're quite right. What you say there. You're quite right.
I've been doing this for quite some time. Hey, you'll get the hang of it.
I've been doing it for about 10 minutes now, so yeah.
That I can never really understand people staying in one room the whole day when you can have the world to see. I am a traveler. I travel. I love traveling. Traveling is just one of the things I do. And on top of my bucket list was, to one time, hopefully when I get there, go to Nepal and climb Mount Everest. That is one of that's in my bucket list. You're laughing, but that is the facts right there. I'd love to do that. That is something I'm looking forward to do, hopefully.
Climb Everest.
Mount Everest. Okay, not the very tip of Mount Everest, maybe the base camp at least.
Base camp, yeah.
At least.
Would you be able to cycle there?
Oh.
There's a lot of conversation around who pays more taxes, if it is the rich or if it is the poor, right? But when you are basically going out and during a day, you go to a restaurant, you have to pay taxes there. If you buy a car, you have to pay taxes there. So why is it even a conversation that, the rich pay less taxes or the poor pay more taxes? Why is it a conversation like that?
Because it's true, the rich generally pay less tax. A rich person walks into a Tesco's or a Sainsbury's, they're not going to get a different bill than another person, right? They're still going to pay the same VAT on those goods. They're still going to pay the same thing. So that's all the same. However, the differences come in if you can pay yourself from your own company, you can structure it in a way that you pay less income tax through paying a bit of salary, paying dividends and so forth. And then also deferring income. Also, your pension payments or contributions can be different. So that increases your tax sort of gap, if you want to use it that way. Where a PAYE person just gets paid salary and bonus. And now those are the most highly taxed sources of income in the UK, definitely, in the UK. We've seen it, right? If an owner of a large public traded company does something wrong, irrelevant of what that company does or how valuable that company is, the stock generally falls into a pool of nothing, right? Because in a public company where the stock is traded openly on the stock exchange, the value of that stock is driven by supply and demand, it's driven by emotion, it's driven by news, it's driven by quite a lot of variables over and above the actual accounting or total net worth of that company. I mean, we've seen it, right? If an owner of a large public traded company does something wrong, irrelevant of what that company does or how valuable that company is, the stock generally falls into a pool of nothing, right? And the company may still have value, it may still be doing quite a good things.
Hold up, you wanna go and take a ride with me, baby?
More variety than you can imagine. Relax Radio.
Welcome back to Relax Radio. That's right, with me, Nick, and we got Laura on board as well. We'll be keeping you company all the way until 6 p.m. That's right. Where we're talking about all things that is going on in the UK right now. There's a lot of these things happening in the UK, and there's, like I said, the recent lockdown. There's going to be an easing of the lockdown. Boris Johnson will be addressing this in a press conference later today. So hopefully there will come good news. What do you think?
Yep, 5 p.m. He's promised that he's going to, he called it a bonfire. He said he's going to announce bonfire of the COVID rules. I think a lot of people, everyone is going to be...
Oh, people are going to go crazy.
Everyone is really waiting. Everyone is expecting to hear good news. We don't want to hear any more. I mean, imagine if he actually comes on and says, because due to the rising cases of COVID, it's been extended to September.
I think people will go into a riot.
A lot of people are just going to be like, you know what, I'm done. I give up.
Yeah.
I'm out.
Yeah, we're just gonna go to Canada or something, man.
Oh my god. Oh my god, so embarrassing. I'm so sorry. Oh god, I got a cold.
No, it's all right.
Oh my god. Oh. Tell you what, this.
It's all good. It's all good. But
is it?
Yes. But
anyway, so it's we're really expecting to hear. I personally want to hear what he has to say. And I hope that it's going to be positive news because the summer is not over, even though it's been raining cats and dogs. But
you're already looking forward to the summer. You're like, what? The summer is still not over. What are you talking about?
It's not over. It's not over. Like I still have a few plans. Yeah. So I don't know about you, Nick. Do you have any plans for summer?
My plans is nothing, no summer bod like that. Me and my girlfriend maybe go down south somewhere. Maybe I'd like to go to Spain if once I get the second jab. I did get the first, I didn't get the second yet. So just like you, I've been waiting. I mean, I might book most probably my appointment. Let's see how it goes. I mean, my girlfriend already got it, the Pfizer vaccine. So let's see. Hopefully.
Which one are you getting?
I have the AstraZeneca.
Oh, right. That's the one.
I'm like, hey, you know what? I'm not really afraid of no blood clot or whatever. People are just making a big deal about it.
Well, I'm just gonna say this: the side effects to this one, the second one, was definitely like worse than the first one because I woke up at 2:00 in the morning.
Okay,
I felt like my head was gonna fall off the floor. It was.
So when I had
just for some time.
So when I had my first jab, right, I had it on my arm. It was like it was throbbing. It felt like a little numb and a little heavy.
Yeah, I think that's a normal thing.
I think it's a normal thing. I don't know because it's been a long time since I had a proper jab. So I was like, okay, it feels a little tight. It's like I went to the gym or something. And my hand is like, I don't feel a little bit of like not loss of sensation, something like that. Right. And then after that, I became okay within the next couple of days, 2 days. I was good to go. Like, all right,
I mean,
I'm back.
yeah, I mean, it's everyone's just expecting, and it's I know a few people who have taken the vaccine who surprisingly still have COVID,
Yeah,
symptoms
that
of COVID.
happens.
So it's crazy to think that even after you've had the vaccine, you might the chances might be slim, but it's still a possibility for you to still get the virus and still come down with symptoms.
That is true. I mean,
So
it's not a 100% guarantee.
yeah.
90%, you're 90%, you're gonna be all right.
Maybe
But that other,
99%,
yeah, maybe
that
99.
1% might be the one where you feel like crap and you just start
How
experiencing.
unfortunate you must be though to be falling in that 1%. I mean, the gods are not with you. Definitely, Lady Luck is not with you.
Well, I'm lucky that at least it didn't ruin my plans. It didn't ruin my weekend plans,
Oh yeah.
and I'm fine. Funny thing is, I went to work today. I
Okay.
thought I was gonna have to call in to cancel, but I got to work fine, and but I think everyone should just be careful. Like even if you come in contact with someone who has the vaccine, I know the Duchess of Cambridge,
Yeah.
Kate Middleton she's had to self isolate now because
Oh really?
she's currently self isolated because
Oh, I
she
saw the
came.
news. I skimmed through that news. I was like, okay, I don't follow a lot of what is going on in the
Yeah,
in Buckingham Palace, and I was like, okay,
yeah,
something's going on with Kate. I want to see
yeah.
what.
They
I
they're
don't know.
saying they're saying now that she's not experiencing any symptoms. She's following all the government guidelines, but she
Okay.
has to self isolate. Yeah, that and today's NHS day, so I think she
Oh,
was supposed to. Yeah,
what is
NHS
NHS Day
is
today?
73 years today, so it's the
Wow,
73rd anniversary.
wow. It is way
Um,
older than you and me combined.
tell me
Yeah,
about
both of our years
it.
combined, it's still older than us. But
Yes,
it's super. For me, it warms my heart to think that the
yeah.
NHS has been there for such a long time, and
Hmm.
when we needed it, it did pull through. It did
Yeah,
pull through. I mean,
yeah. Of
especially with
course.
the January cases and all the way the cases were and how the doctors were struggling, they
Yeah,
still pulled through.
yeah.
So
I mean,
73
it's
years worth it, I think.
yeah, and they were supposed to have, or they had an event, a service at St. Paul's Cathedral. I know
Oh,
the
okay,
Duchess of Cambridge had to miss that one. She was supposed to be there, but she couldn't make
okay.
it because she has to self isolate. But I'm just gonna say that the NHS has really really been a massive help. The sad
She
thing
has.
is, a lot of people have lost their faith in the NHS due to the fact that, yes, they are prioritizing COVID cases, patients, and all of
I
that
mean,
come
yeah,
with symptoms, but they might also be ignoring some people who have other health related issues
that is
or
true.
other, maybe not diseases or whatever. Like a colleague of mine told me about her son
Yeah.
who had a fall and cracked his head open,
Oh
and
no,
yeah, and she had to wait for 6 hours for him to be attended to. six
6
hours,
hours.
of
That is
which
bad.
they
That
didn't
is
even
bad.
do much, according to her. So she's like, she's lost her faith in the NHS. And
I think it's the priority. Like we spoke about this the other day. It's all
yeah,
about a
yeah,
priority, how they prioritize. I think yes, it depends on the symptoms. How symptomatic are they? Are they seriously ill to the point that they need treatment? Okay, fine. Because this is in the end of the day, this is a virus, right? So viruses, most of the time for viruses, it's mostly symptomatic treatment. So they treat your symptoms. You get a headache, well, they'll give you some, paracetamol or something like that to
yeah,
help, aspirin or something to sort your headache out.
yeah.
If you have body ache, well, aspirin or something like that too, and they will monitor you. That's pretty much
Hmm.
it. So
Yeah,
we have to see that most of these cases that come in, most of them that do get hospitalized are not super serious cases, in comparison to someone
yeah,
getting their head cracked. I mean,
yeah.
I feel
But
like that is a very serious, very serious thing at the
I'm
moment.
actually I'm going to what's that word now? Just
Object, reiterate.
exactly. Thank you. Oh my god, my mind just went blank there. So I'm just going to object now and say that
Okay, tell me.
a person can have a headache that might seem like a migraine, right? But it might
Yeah,
just be a brain tumor.
that's also
And
there.
if you don't, if the doctors or the NHS does not, or the GP does not call that person in, fine, you have a headache. It goes more than saying, "Oh, get a paracetamol." It might be something that they don't know, and if they're not brought in for a CT scan or an
Yeah,
MRI or whatever, you won't know what it is. So if you're saying, "Oh, it's just a headache," or "Have you been stressed?" "Oh, yeah, I've been stressed." "Oh, fine," just associating with a headache, take paracetamols. A few weeks later or a few months later, they're gone. I had one of my
that happens.
uncles. I
Yeah.
lost one of my uncles. He was in perfect health. We had no idea his blood pressure was off the roof, and he was just on the road one time. He slumped, and that was it. He was gone.
I'm sorry to hear that.
You know,
Yeah,
so
these things happen. Yeah.
you also
mean,
need to look at other people
I
that
think
have health related issues. I think that's
so. I should have just I should have said this more clearly. I'm talking about when you get a symptom. I'm talking about the severity of the symptom. How
yeah,
severe is the symptom to you? So you obviously, when you go to a hospital, the doctor will ask, is it sharp pain? How much would you rate that pain on a scale of 1 to 10? Like if you have a
right.
headache, okay, how much is it to the point where you cannot? It feels like your skull is cracking. Then obviously there's gonna be, they're gonna look into that. They will have to
Yeah,
look into
yeah,
that kind of.
of course.
That's why I'm saying, when a person comes in with COVID related symptoms or whatever symptoms, it has to be about severity. So now you can see there's an open wound. Someone is in, like, their head might be cracked or something to the point, it could be fractured. It could be life threatening. We don't know how the severity of the disease,
Yeah.
the way they're afflicted with a certain condition or whatever. So I think most of the time hospitals should check on severity. How severe is it? Is it to a point where the person cannot stand, or it's
Yeah.
life threatening? Okay, then they have to look into it immediately. I mean
Yeah, of
immediately, yeah.
course.
But then not to forget about the other person as well. So, like, for instance, you say somebody has a headache and it's not that severe, but then it's to that point that they have to look into it as well. They can't just push it off and be like, it's okay. If the patient keeps coming back in, also that there's something going on. This is not something normal. So yeah, there has been a backlog of cases because of this, and there have been a lot of people who did unfortunately pass away, due to cancer, due to a lot of medically related issue, non-COVID, strictly
Yeah,
non-COVID.
of course,
Most of these cases that have passed away, unfortunately, it's because also, people are saying, okay, it could be the negligence of the NHS. It could be a lot of these things, but I feel like it's the priority level, how we prioritize.
Yeah, I mean, the truth is, the NHS has really been, like I said, it's been very helpful. We all know how swarmed hospitals have been. We all know how, the NHS has been trying to use other places like when you're trying to use like kitchens or building up tents just to house patients because you've run out of space. They kept
That's how
running out
bad
of
it
space in
gets.
hospitals. It was really bad. So it's just like you're overloading a car or a truck. The NHS has been really overloaded, but they've proven themselves. They've pulled through.
It's like a bus in, I think once I went to the Maldives, or was it in Sri Lanka? I can't remember where. There's like, a bus a van that can seat 6 people. There's like 20 people inside. That's how many people was inside. That's how the NHS situation was.
Honestly, yeah. And so it was so stressful for them. They also lost some of their patients. So I can understand that they were really pressured and, they really had to do their best. But at the same time, let's not ignore people who their cases may not be COVID related, but their needs are just same.
That is right. Yeah, that's totally, that is the total facts right there. It might not be as important. It might not seem important, but it is important. It has to be. To that. I mean, yes, right now it's a pressing matter. Somebody is coming in with life-threatening symptoms. You have to obviously take, you have to take precedence. You have to take a priority, and you have to prioritize on that person, that particular person. But then the other person should not be forgotten.
Of course.
Because it doesn't seem that serious, they shouldn't be forgotten. There's a lot of these cases that come in.
You never know
cataracts,
and
with cataracts and all these kind of sort of symptoms, that I was saying, it could be even a fracture on their leg or something, but they need to be looked into as well. They shouldn't feel neglected, because if they do feel neglected, what will happen is people will lose confidence in the health system, in the organization, in the government, essentially. And that's something that we want to avoid as much as we can.
Absolutely. It's like you never really know how bad a situation can get. You can look at someone and say, oh, you just have a headache, and then in the space of a few hours it can escalate and become something worse. And it's like, but he was fine yesterday, or I saw him yesterday and he was fine, and then what happened? Maybe he's in the hospital, or maybe he's gone. I've seen cases like that. So it's It's
it's about priority. Hopefully, the government will look into this, and the NHS, like I said, 73 years. It's been a long term. 73 years is a pretty long time for a health organization to last that long.
Yeah.
Actually, and what they're doing. Although a lot of people are disappointed, but at the same time, it's the situation. This is something that they couldn't have predicted. We couldn't have predicted it.
Mhm.
So it might seem in the beginning, it might seem like the right choice, but it's later on that we realize, many of the choices that they did also, they had to choose, and it's unfortunate they had to choose lives also at that time. I know personal people who were doctors, who work in the health industry, and they had a very tough time. And it did get to the point where, I was sitting there in my room and I was wondering, thank God I'm not a doctor at this particular point. The choices that they had to make must have been really, really difficult. Really hard, and it's not fair for them to even make that, because they shouldn't be put in that kind of position, I feel. But then these are just it just comes with the occupation. And for me, I respect all the health workers and essential services people and the non-essential who didn't have to. All these people who did their part during the whole coronavirus situation.
Yeah, of course.
They have my respect, for all that they've done for the countries, whether it's the police, whether it's healthcare workers, or even the cleaners who are in these hospitals as well. They've risked their lives as well. So these people also will need to be looked into. Definitely, they will have to be looked into.
Yeah, it's like key workers during the space of this COVID period. Even if you're not an NHS worker, even if you're a mailman, you send mails, or you're a delivery guy, you work for big companies that you're delivering parcels, you are a key worker, and you've been a key worker. And it's not easy when you have, a lot of people who have lost their jobs and are complaining. Yeah, it's a bad thing when you've lost your job and everything.
That is true.
But we're losing focus on those who actually have to keep working despite everything. It's not easy
for those people. It's major respect.
because if you're not working, you have to fall back on the furlough scheme, the government furlough scheme. But you keep going back to work, keep meeting people, interacting with people. And note, back then the vaccine had not come out, so risking your lives, going to work every day, hoping that, oh God, please don't let me get this virus one day. It's not easy.
It isn't. Especially delivery, food delivery. It doesn't matter whatever services you did, especially the food delivery guys. I feel they earn the most respect out of a lot. After the healthcare workers, I feel like they deserve the most respect because they've done so much. They've delivered food regardless of their health. They're like, okay, you know what? We're going to deliver food. Although, it might seem okay, they need to put food on their tables, but at the same time, they're risking their lives and doing this.
I think it's general delivery guys, because if you ask me, I think during the lockdown, the first two lockdown, that was when a lot of online shopping, it was booming. A lot of people, millions of people were ordering online because shops were closed, So it's these people who deliver both food and non-edible stuff that, they really, really went all out.
It was crazy. I know. It's like, how we look at the media and all these other things that we think, okay, when they said essential, what are essential workers for us? We think, okay, medical, we think hospitals, we think doctors. That's what we think. We think doctors.
That's where your mind goes to, first of all.
Yeah, that's the first foremost people you think about. Then the police, and then all these other, small workers you think. We never really think about the little guy who is the delivery guy who does the most heavy lifting.
The pizza guy.
The pizza guy, I'm telling you. And the next time, if you're giving, you're giving a tip, make sure to remember.
Make sure
add
to
in a
tip
little
well.
bit more. Definitely, because these guys, they depend on this, and they do they did their part. I feel like, they deserve a lot of respect. I was never in that situation.
Absolutely.
But the risk that they should do, I'm telling you, the things that they've done, incredible.
Yeah. So I think when the government is celebrating key workers, as much as they're celebrating the NHS, they need to remember people who may not wear a badge, may not wear scrubs, but they may not even wear uniforms. Pizza guys don't wear uniforms.
They don't.
Delivery guys, they don't wear uniforms. But,
just a jacket. That's about it.
Yeah, but they're doing their job diligently, and they're also risking their lives.
I think we need. I think that in his speech he should actually, if he's gonna thank key workers, definitely on the list. Delivery guys should definitely be there. The pizza guys should definitely be on that list. Something to be proud of, at least in this time in COVID-19 when this thing happened. At least 20 years from now, because many people, when you talk about delivery guy working as a delivery guy or something, I don't want to talk about that job. And
you'd be proud. You'd be proud.
But then you can be proud because you were one of those people in this time of need. You were there.
Of course, yes, absolutely.
Definitely. And with that being said, though, we are going to be taking a quick short break, and we'll definitely be right back after this. We have a lot more conversation going on, so make sure you guys keep it locked. And all you got to do is simple. If you want to be part of the show, hit us up on those numbers 07852 473 473. And also don't forget, you can download the app from the Apple App Store or the Google Play Store. Carry us all day, every day. And with that being said, taking a look at your time, it is 4:51. Good evening. Climb Mount Everest. That is one of that's in my bucket list. You're laughing, but that is the facts right there. I'd love to do that. That is something I'm looking forward to do, hopefully.
Climb Everest.
Mount Everest. I mean, okay, not the very tip of Mount Everest, maybe the base camp at least.
You're talking about mental health. Well, if you went out and got some exercise in the fresh air, that will improve your mental health. It will make you feel better.
That's true. That is true. I wholeheartedly agree. But then for some people, it's how do you find the motivation to, especially when it comes to riding a bicycle, to do it again and again and again and again? It's a cycle that you have to be used to. How do you do it? What makes you wake up in the morning and decide, hey, I'm going to pick my bike up today. I'm going to cycle. What makes you want to do that?
What makes me want to do that?
Yeah. What do you like? What could you give listeners, like people listening in right now? What kind of tip could you give them?
Well, the first tip I would give them, if you haven't tried it before, try it. It can open up new horizons. It will make you fitter. It will definitely make you fitter. Cycling is one of the best forms of aerobic exercise you can do.
It sounds like, if you think about it, it sounds like great fun. Because what essentially you're trying to say is also at the same time, when if you look at it from this perspective, with regards to mental health, especially when you look at it with mental health, this is another way to fight it. I feel like you go outside, you meet more people, you interact with, socially, you will interact with more people, and you're keeping fit, you're making connections, you're breathing in the good and exhaling the bad. I feel like that's a great thing right there.
Absolutely. Yeah, you got a better way with words than I have, I'll tell you. But you're quite right. What you say there.
I've been doing this for quite some time. Hey, you'll get the hang of it.
I've been doing it for about 10 minutes now, so yeah.
That I can never really understand people staying in one room the whole day when you can have the world to see. I am a traveler. I travel. I love traveling. Traveling is just one of the things I do. And on top of my bucket list was, to one time, hopefully when I get there, go to Nepal and climb Mount Everest. That is one of that's in my bucket list. You're laughing, but that is the facts right there. I'd love to do that. That is something I'm looking forward to do, hopefully.
Climb Everest.
Mount Everest. Okay, not the very tip of Mount Everest, maybe the base camp at least.
Base camp, yeah.
At least.
Would you be able to cycle there?
Oh.
Now, there's a lot of conversation around who pays more taxes, if it is the rich or if it is the poor, right? But when you are basically going out and during a day, you go to a restaurant, you have to pay taxes there. If you buy a car, you have to pay taxes there. So why is it even a conversation that, the rich pay less taxes or the poor pay more taxes? Why is it a conversation like that?
Because it's true that the rich generally pay less tax. A rich person walks into a Tesco's or a Sainsbury's, they're not going to get a different bill than another person, right? They're still going to pay the same VAT on those goods. They're still going to pay the same thing. So that's all the same. However, the differences come in if you can pay yourself from your own company, you can structure it in a way that you pay less income tax through paying a bit of salary, paying dividends and so forth, and then also deferring income. Also, your pension payments or contributions can be different. So that increases your tax sort of gap, if that, if you want to use it that way. Where a PAYE person just gets paid salary and bonus. And now those are the most highly taxed sources of income in the UK, definitely, in the UK. We've seen it, right? If an owner of a large public traded company does something wrong, irrelevant of what that company does or how valuable that company is, the stock generally falls into a pool of nothing, right? Because in a public company where the stock is traded openly on the stock exchange, the value of that stock is driven by supply and demand, it's driven by emotion, it's driven by news, it's driven by quite a lot of variables over and above the actual accounting or total net worth of that company. I mean, we've seen it, right? If an owner of a large public traded company does something wrong, irrelevant of what that company does or how valuable that company is, the stock generally falls into a pool of nothing, right? And the company may still have value, it may still be doing quite a good things.
Hold up. If you wanna go and take a ride with me, better hit me, baby, one more time.
More variety than you can imagine. Relax Radio.
Welcome back to Relax Radio. That's right. This is me, Nick. And we got Laura as well. We'll be keeping you company all the way until 6 p.m. That's right. We're going to be talking about all the things that is going on in the UK. That's right. We're talking about a lot of things that is going on. And we're talking about easing of the lockdowns and how wearing a mask is going to be a more personal choice. You can choose whether you want to wear a mask. But more importantly, we're going to be talking, we spoke about all those things. But right now, one of the most pressing matters is how will actually school children get free meals, and will they continue to get this over the summer? So is that actually going to happen? So a number of these children, that are eligible for free school meals in England has risen since the start of the pandemic. I mean, you got to understand the schools are closed, and there's a lot of these things going on. So there's just a disruption in the overall education system at the moment. So these are just, the things that the government is doing.
Mm-hmm. Children that are eligible for, like, as a child, if you're eligible for free school meals, your household income cannot be more than 7,400. It has to be less than 7,400. And my first thought is that is really low. I mean, I'm guessing that is per annum.
Okay.
I'm guessing that is yearly.
Yeah. Then you have to have a really, really low income to getting something like that.
I mean, it doesn't really say if that's monthly, maybe, combined monthly 7,000 or yearly. I'm guessing it's yearly. That is very low.
I think so, yeah. I there was no real exact figure. Even I was a little confused on that part. Was it per annum or was it per month? If it was a monthly thing, then I think everyone would be getting free
Honestly, it's definitely a yearly thing. And that is without the benefits.
Yeah, that is without welfare and all.
Mm-hmm. But now, before it was like more than 1 in 5 pupils, right? At the start of January this year. Yeah. But now it is more than 400,000 in the space of in the previous 10 months. So it's
that number is a rising number of cases. You can see, like, there is more and more. It shows, because one thing, yes, per annum, this is how much we're taking. But then a lot of the people who are in the furlough scheme, especially, they depend on this. I feel like they depend on this as well. Schools giving free meals to students as well, because this is very important right now. They are, barely making it, is what I'd like to think and see from all of this situation, the way they're trying to handle this. And the proportions of the people, eligible in these schools. I mean, it's crazy the way how things are going. The amount of these students who depend on this is just crazy.
Yeah. I think just right now, because we all know that free school meals,
Yeah,
it's normally given during the term year.
that is true.
That's a normal thing. But now I think a lot of councils have decided to go the extra mile to create their own meal schemes.
Oh wow.
During the long holiday, and
Yeah.
it's just a way of helping parents. You're a struggling parent, you're barely making it as it is, you're barely surviving on your own, much less, taking care of your child. And God help you, you have 2, 3, 4 children.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
extra mouths to feed. And we all know that
One
children.
or two. Okay, maybe you can manage. You can do something. 3,
Yeah, but
4,
3,
5.
4.
Oh,
And we all know how children are. We all know that children have very big appetite
hungry
and they get hungry every single time.
every day.
And it's
yeah.
understandably because they're growing. They need that
Yeah.
food. to
Yeah, they have
grow.
like a black hole inside of them. I mean, I
Like a
remember when I
well.
was a kid. Yeah, like the things that I would eat, how much I would eat in a day, it was just terrifying. And now it's slowed down to that pace. I'm like, hey, I cannot eat that much anymore. What is going on?
Exactly. And because they're children, their metabolism is so high. They play a lot. So by the time they've eaten, maybe at 5 o'clock, they've gone to play. 7 o'clock, they're back hungry.
They are.
And you're
yeah.
wondering, but I can go, 5, 6 hours without eating. Well, you're not them. You don't have that much energy that they have.
Yeah, that's true.
So
I mean,
it's
I mean, these are just important things, that they are dependent on. A lot of these families are dependent on. So, when the first lockdown happened, that the 2020 lockdown, families with children on free food meals were offered food packages or vouchers during their term time. So, a lot of these were offered. And then in Easter 2020, a campaign which was actually led to ministers extending support over the holidays. So that was one of the things. So these were just some of the things that they were doing. And then in summer 2020, additional, fundings was also put in place. So these children were eligible for free school meals, could claim a 6-week voucher. So so they were offered all these sort of packages as well, with what is going on. And in November 2020, a funding package that is the COVID Winter Grant Scheme was introduced to support a lot of these families as well, these struggling families. And January 2021, the original term time voucher scheme returned in lockdown, but with parents expected to rely on winter grant money during the holidays. So it just shows,
Sorry to cut you short, Nick.
No, it's okay. Tell me.
They were trying to do this thing called trust the parents, where they give money, they give cash payments to parents over the summer. But now it's like, rather than offer free meals, the government has allocated £220 million for local councils to offer free holiday clubs. I'm guessing I'm guessing that is for the parents also to kind of relieve you from maybe a lot of
the stress. Yeah. I mean, let's be honest. Yeah. There's no better way to put it. But being a parent is, I can only imagine. I mean, my parents had like 4 kids. So me included, I'm the eldest. So we have 3 other kids. I just imagine sometimes, when I wake up, I sit down, I think, in the middle of the night or 3 a.m. thinking, you're like, hey, I'm just thinking how my dad managed this. What if I want to get married and I want to do? Oh my God, yeah.
You're one of those people who you're sleeping and then you just wake up randomly and just start having random thoughts like, where the hell is my birth certificate? or why did I eat the nuggets for dinner or something like that? I do that sometimes. It's not even funny
because that's what I do. I do wake up at morning, 3 a.m. in the morning, 2 a.m. in the morning. I'm like wondering, hey, did I close the door? Yeah, did I lock the door to my office? Did I sign out from the office? I don't remember all these things. It just pops up all of a sudden.
A few days ago, I just woke up randomly and I just thinking, wait, my sister's owing me £50. Has she sent it to my account? Just random thoughts. And I started laughing at myself because I'm like, what the hell? I should go back to sleep. But jokes aside, this whole thing that they're trying to do, it's a good one. It's really gonna help
a lot of parents.
A lot of parents. It's not easy raising a child. I come from a big family.
So your parents would definitely need it the most. When you guys were growing up.
Funny thing is, we're only 3 kids in my family, But from my dad's side, my cousins, there's 6 of them. There's another one, there's 6 of them, and then We're like
There's a
30
lot of
on my
kids.
dad's side. So a lot of kids. So I know how it feels like, and I know the stress involved and all of that, So it is a welcome development,
Yeah,
honestly.
I mean, in our family, yeah, my dad had to feed like 6 kids, so 3 kids with 2 different personalities every day. Feeding each of one day they're just like all in the mood, like we want to eat, yes.
Yeah.
So I can imagine, a lot of these families that are going through all of this, how much of dependency they need, and yes, how burned out they do feel, and they
Yeah.
need, these country clubs and all that. They don't need it. It doesn't sound like, oh, he's like, oh, that's a luxury. Why do we even need that? But you have to understand, when you do this for a year and a half, you will definitely get burned out. You will
Yeah.
definitely get burned out. So you will reach that point of where, you don't care anymore. Just do, like, take me away.
It's
I'd rather
like
be arrested.
yeah, children are cute. Kids are cute, and they're even cuter. They're cutest when they're babies. But when you get to that two, they say is it the troublesome two or the something two?
I think the terrible 3 or
Terrible
something.
two, yeah, the terrible
Terrible.
two. And oh gosh, that's why you'd be like, why? Have kids, they say, and then you
It'll be
start
fun,
just
they say.
yeah, it's gonna be fun, they say, and look at me now. But I remember there was a time when is it Marcus Rashford,
Yeah,
the
I think it was
footballer?
Marcus. Yeah, Rashford.
Yeah. I think he tried to do something in this line of, providing free food for kids over. I don't know if he still does it.
I think it was during Easter when he did it. Yeah, he did it during Easter
Right, okay.
last year, somewhere there.
Yeah.
He was giving a lot of this support to families and all of that. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah,
So
it's
he-
honestly it's something you do when you know that you're not going to get anything back. You do it to just see the smiles on people's faces. So
That is, yeah, I mean, it's altruistic. When you do something nice, when you do good for people, it comes around and it comes back to you.
Exactly.
I believe in that goodness. You spread the goodness, it will definitely come, find its
Definitely.
way to you. Definitely. That's something that will definitely happen.
it's gonna come back and bite you in the bum, and this time it's the
In a
good
good
type
way.
of. It's the good, yeah. It's the good way. It's not the bad type.
But
So-
yes, a lot of these a lot of these children who will be receiving these free meals it'll come from children from nursery to the 6th form. They're going to be, if they are eligible, that they live in these households, receiving
Yeah.
these income related benefits. They will get a lot of this income support. They get income based job seeker allowance. They get these related employment and support allowance. So you can see there's a lot of support
Yeah.
as well, for these families who don't bring in as much. I mean, £7,000 per annum. That is very difficult.
They have
It
to
sounds
be
like it's very
really
rough.
struggling.
Yeah, and those are families that are really going to be struggling. I mean, I still think £7,000 is going to be really hard, especially when you're East London or something. Yeah, that's just a lot. That's just not enough. So a lot of these families are getting support from the
Yeah.
government, from
And
the way
yeah.
things look out.
And you know that free holiday clubs I mentioned, where they've managed to allocate £220 million. Now these clubs will offer free healthy food and physical activities. So it's not just going to a club and just belonging to one. You're also going to get something worth it and something free from those clubs. So, and the funding is supposed to cover activities for at least 4 hours a day, 4 days a week, or 4 weeks, of the holidays, for 4 weeks of the holidays. So that is we just need to try our best to help people survive, because these are very difficult times.
I mean, yeah, these are important times where, we're being tested. Our metal is being tested. And sometimes you think, okay, I can go with this, but then you have to understand there are people out there who are struggling even worse than you.
Yeah,
There are
of course.
definitely people. I mean, especially if they have 2-3 kids to feed, it's not going to be easy. It's definitely not going to be easy. I can just imagine one child just shouting, it's like, Jeremiah, stop eating your brother, or something like that.
Stop eating your brother.
I mean, that's how hungry these children can get. It's terrible. They're like a pack of wolves, these little kids.
Yeah. I mean, it's to be honest, it's a big relief for families that make less than 7,400, because you don't want, the last thing you want is for your child to finish school and come back home hungry when you might it's like you might not even be home. You might still be at work, or you might be home, but hey, your paycheck hasn't come through. You've not been able to buy stuff. Yeah, so you want to provide your child with the best, but you just can't. Your hands are tied. And as a child, they won't understand. All they
That
know
is the
is
worst thing.
give me food, give me food, give me food. I'm hungry. That's it.
Yeah, not kids are. Yeah, that's how they are. So it's going to be difficult for a lot of these parents. I can
Yeah.
imagine the situation. That's why I think this is one of the reasons why the government is pushing forward and trying to lift out all the restrictions as well. They're like, okay, in their mind, okay, yes, the risks are there, the risks are entailed, but at the
Mhm.
same time, we have to make sure the country keeps running because people are going to be struggling, and we can only keep this up for so long.
Yeah.
So yeah, this the way I do hope that the government can relieve a lot of these families as well, struggling families. And yeah, they do point out they call out all the key workers as well, the
Yeah.
important workers who've done their parts.
Yeah.
It's
And can I say
yeah,
something? I
yeah.
always say there's something I always or I strongly believe in. If you've got the power to make a change,
You sound like Michael
by all
Jackson, man.
means. No, no, I'm serious. I don't like to expect too much from people
Yeah,
because I don't like being disappointed. So it's like I'm not going to just say the government is the government's responsibilities.
yeah,
A
it's
lot
true.
of a lot of famous people, a lot of celebrities. For me, it's
Yeah,
like you are a celebrity. You have the fame, you have the money. You may
I
not be
mean,
as wealthy as the politicians, but you do have the audience, their
I'm
attention.
biting my tongue right now because I remember Kim Kardashian during this whole COVID situation where she spended, I don't know how much money she spent. I'm sorry, spended. Is that even a word? Spent.
We forgive you. It's fine.
Yeah, it just slipped out. But yes, where she spent at least, I think, I don't know how much money, but she bought this car, this luxury car, and it was fur coated. The exterior was completely fur coated. And I'm sitting there wondering, hey, what are you even doing? You have so much money. I mean, okay, it's on a normal day, I would forgive you. I was like, okay, it's your money, you can do what you want.
Yeah.
But then you're flaunting it during a time like COVID where you can do good. I feel like, that's just a flaunt of power.
Yeah. For me, I mean, you can do whatever you want, right? It's your
Yeah,
money. You've worked
it's
hard
true.
for it.
That is correct.
So I'm not going to say, oh, why are you not using this for? But it's going to be good and it's going to make you feel at peace. And I don't know, it just gives you this great
I guess she's
feeling
at
when you're
peace.
when you're using it for when you're using it for a better cause.
Yeah,
Why not call your celebrity friends or call
yeah.
people who have money like you and just do
Oh, but
something for
a lot
a
of these
certain
celebrities
section of
are actually
people.
doing. I feel like a lot of these celebrities are actually doing it. There are some celebrities who are doing it. I don't know the
Yeah,
majority, but there are some celebrities actually doing actually good work. When you look at these
yeah,
things, they are doing it, but it's not being. They're not trying to broadcast it. They're not trying to this
yeah.
one.
Well, that's a good
It's
one.
it's on the yeah. I mean, yeah. Some of them will try to get. They want to get a little bit of a clout. You would
Oh
like to
yeah,
say, yeah. So
yeah.
there who are not doing that, then that's great. It's great to see the efforts that they're doing.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah,
And yeah, anyways, yeah, like I've seen like some like Camila Cabello, Shawn Mendes, they do a lot of these, charity works as well. I've seen how much charity they're doing, but they don't obviously they don't broadcast it, they don't
yeah,
publicize it, all that things with that regards. Celebrities are doing their part. I feel like not as much as you think because you don't see most of it, but
yeah.
I
I
feel
mean,
like I
that's
feel like
that's
some are doing. I don't know
yeah,
about
that's the
Kim.
best thing. That's the best thing. It's not for you to do it and
Show it,
tell the
yeah,
whole world about it. I mean, the truth is, if people don't see what you're doing, they won't really know what you're doing. But in the
yeah.
end, it's like you and
You
that
know what
person
you
you've
did.
helped. Yeah, you both know what you've done. They're
Yeah.
grateful to you for what you've done, and you feel happy.
That is all that
You
matters.
know
People can bash
exactly.
you and say what they want, but at the end of the day, you know what you did. You know the good that
Yeah.
you've done, and the lives that you've touched, and that's the
Yeah,
most I think
but
important
but
thing.
yeah, but as someone with power, it is really important to they say give back.
To the community.
You get exactly you get something you've gotten to where you were, and a lot of people, as much as we all try to say, oh, I did it on my own, you really weren't on your own.
No,
You
you
may
weren't.
have been able to, yeah, you put in a lot of work and a lot of sleepless nights and stuff, but in the end you had help,
That is true.
whether directly or indirectly.
That is
So
that is the total fact right there. That is the truth of the matter. And yeah, that's the truth. You're
mhm,
never really alone. You can say how much you want. I did this by myself. Nobody helped me, but then That's a lie. Technically, if you look at it, people did one somewhere did something
one way or the other. Yeah.
I mean, it could either be from your fans or from the people around you, and you just don't realize it, and you just
No
like
matter
to say,
how
"Oh, I
little.
yeah." So but you're right. Celebrities need to do their part as well, as much as they have power. And if they can't support, well, at least they should put it on and at least create awareness. I feel.
Yeah, exactly.
If they don't want to spend their money, it's okay. Nobody's asking you to spend. I mean, people can bash them and tell them, "Oh, you're not spending. You're spending millions on your cars and stuff." At the same time, it's their money. But at least if they have the power, like when it comes to social media and stuff, like that's why I'm telling you, like Kim Kardashian putting that car thing. I'm like, I don't care about how much money you spent on a fur.
Yeah.
I don't know, whatever. It could be any exotic car that's fur coated. But I'm telling you, Laura, it's fur coated white. Literally, who even thinks
I saw
exterior of the car?
I saw that video. She really got a lot of criticism. For that.
First off, how are you gonna drive it in the road? What if it's a rainy day?
Well, or she wants to drive it in the sky, maybe. But honestly, it's like some people may have fame, but they may not even have the money.
Yeah.
So even if a lot of times we expect these people, oh, you're famous or you must have money. No, fame
TikTok
and
stars.
Wealth are really different.
Like these TikTok stars.
Exactly. They don't always go hand in hand, but you have your platform. You can call people together to do something
Create
about
awareness.
it. But I just realized we've gone way
deep into this. Yeah, I know. I mean, that's just how it is, when things pick up. I mean, this is way out of a tangent, it's like a tangent of a tangent. But anyways, we're having a good conversation right now. There's some great stuff. And but unfortunately, it's about that time of the day that we wrap things up. We end things on the show.
Before we end
looks
it,
like you want to say something.
Before we end it, there's been so the Prime Minister has said that the final step for the restriction is going to go on 19. He's confirmed because it's 17. He's confirmed. Face mask will no longer be legally required.
All right.
And distancing rules will be scrapped. So no more 1 meter or 2 meters.
Oh, he's not going to take it back anymore then. If he said it like that, no, this is official. So this is the news as we're getting it right now, folks. So this is something that is happening. And he's officially declared it. Yeah, Boris Johnson has said it. So I guess happy weekday. A lot of people can, but even though all of these restrictions are being lifted, always make sure at least to try as much as you can to be safe. And maybe sanitize if you can. Sanitize if you want to wear a mask. Wear your mask. Who am I to tell you what to do anymore?
I mean, if you're in a crowded place and you don't feel confident, by all means, wear your mask.
Nobody's ever going to judge you. I mean, do what you have to do to protect you. That's what you have to do. And and on that note, we got to wrap things up.
Yep.
But don't worry, we'll be there tomorrow. You can catch us again, same time, same place, right here on Relaks Radio. And my name is Nick.
And I'm Laura.
And we're out of here. Peace and much love.